For Complex News, I'm Jinx. Singer and Cali native Jasmine V stopped by Complex to speak with us about her new single, That's Me Right There, featuring the king of the West Coast, Kendrick Lamar. Jasmine told us how the surprise feature came about and also took a trip down memory lane, informing us how she got her start in the music game. Check it out.
Yeah, that's me right there.
Don't stop. Don't stop. Hold up.
That's me right there.
Don't stop.
All right, so you're here promoting your new single with Kendrick.
Yes.
But before we get into the single, I want to ask you about kind of your start in music. I know that you've also done some acting work as well.
Yes.
How did you get into music?
Well, I'm originally from the Bay Area, so when I was younger, my grandma thought it'd be great to put me in a pageant. So I did that at this local mall in the Bay, and I won. I ended up winning, so I kept doing it because I loved being on stage until I got into acting and modeling. There were scouts at like some of the pageants because I would sing and I would dance and do all that crazy stuff. So I started traveling to LA from the Bay 5.5 hours every day. We'd go, my grandpa was on oxygen, he was driving us until the point where he was super sick and couldn't do it anymore.
Wow.
So I moved out there away from my family, just me and my mother. And my family was in town visiting. I was 11 actually. I was walking from my acting agency and I was singing. And some guy walking the opposite direction heard me sing and he was like, "You have a really big voice, but you're so little." And I was like, "Oh, maybe I can sing. Somebody's telling me I'm good." And he was actually an intern for Interscope at the time. So it's funny to look back at it now because he actually interned for my A&R back then, but I had no idea who that was.
Yeah.
So it all connected somehow. He introduced me to Gabby, who's the lady who's been manager now for the past 10 years, ever since then, and she was working with Damon Dash. And I got signed to Damon Dash when I was 12.
What was it like working under a guy like Dame Dash?
It was definitely one for the books, I will say that. It was inspiring. I mean, his work ethic is amazing. And, you know, even though I was so young to understand most of the things that were going on, looking back at it now, I see where my manager got her work ethic. And now my brother is working for my manager, and I see where he's getting his work ethic. So it does come down the line. And till this day, I've seen him in New York a couple times, and I went to like his little art thing.
Oh, Poppington.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm really close to his kids, so I mean they're like family. I love them.
So you were technically like really like working before you were even a teenager.
Yep. Yeah.
So at what point did you go on tour with Justin Bieber?
That's when I was 16. I was in the Baby video. That's when I first met Justin, and I was signed to Sony Epic at the time. And I went on tour. They somehow arranged to go on tour, and I opened up for his second leg of the My World Tour.
Okay, well, let's fast forward to today. You just released your single with Kendrick.
Yeah.
How did that come about, you pairing up with Kendrick, who's, I imagine, pretty hard to get locked down and get on a song these days?
And that's actually crazy because I didn't think it was ever really going to happen. When we recorded That's Me Right There, the producer is Harmony Samuels, and we were talking about collabs, possible collabs. We were to see who made sense, and we were going through them, and then Kendrick got brought up, and everybody's like, "That'd be so perfect." And they're like, "Let's work on it." Then a week later, they're like, "We got Kendrick on the song. We're gonna get him on the song. We're waiting for him to write the verse." I was like, "I'm not gonna tell anybody." I was like, "I'm gonna wait till I hear the verse. So when I tell my friends, like, I won't have to explain to them why I said all this stuff and it didn't happen because I don't want to jinx anything." I was in rehearsal for a show I had. I was performing all new songs, so I was nervous. I was going over my routines. My manager was like, "Go over this mix. I need you to approve it before tomorrow." And the weird thing is I approved it that morning, but I didn't think anything of it. So she was like, "Approve it." It's playing. All my friends and family have their cameras out. They're videotaping me, and I'm just literally like standing in the middle of the room like this. As if everybody pulled out their cameras, and I'm just like, what's about to happen? The Kendrick, he comes out, and he doesn't physically come out, but I heard his verse through the song. And I had to look around a second to make sure nobody like grabbed a mic and started rapping just to be funny. And everybody's like cheering, and they're like jumping up and down, and I was like, still stuck. I was like, wait, I don't get it, like what's happening? And it took me a minute to process it, but once I did, I was forever grateful. I was like, wow, it's like it really happened.
And what does he have lined up for the rest of the year?
For the rest of the year, it's just promo and hopefully, you know, coming back to New York. I'm going to the Bay, doing a bunch of stuff out there, Miami, Orlando, going around everywhere for the rest of the year, and then hopefully I'll be able to open up on a tour and possibly perform.
With the guest verse from Kendrick on her first song, along with the musical history that rivals some current veterans, Jasmine V is ready for what's next. Be sure to check out That's Me Right There, out now. Keep your eyes peeled for our upcoming EP, and stay posted with us here at Complex News for all the latest music updates.